So another question we get is, why isn't the bar wider? I like to do wide grip bench press. So the reason people like wide grip bench press is because it's easier, or you can handle more weight. Because the distance the arm has to travel when it's matched with the shoulders is a lot longer than if you grab out here. This is a shorter distance. Now, that's okay if you're doing like a feat of strength. If you're in a bench press competition, a wide grip is a better idea because you're going to be able to handle more force. But really, a wide grip is great for talking about your bench press. So like a lot of the guys on the internet, they like bragging about how much they bench, but that doesn't mean you're stronger. So X3 is designed to get you stronger. So just in a simple illustration, where is the pectoral? If I put my arm out here like I'm doing a wide grip, is the pectoral fully contracted right here? No, it's fully contracted right here. So you're actually not stimulating the muscles you're trying to stimulate when you do wide grip. So wide grip's really just great if you want to talk about your bench press, not actually get stronger. X3 is for getting stronger. So you want a much more narrow grip so you can squeeze those pectorals and stimulate what you're intending to stimulate when doing the contraction.
If I'm doing the chest press motion, right, it looks like I'm doing the press. It looks good, right? It's the right motion. But there's one thing you can notice here. No activation. I'm going through the motion, but it's all in my delts and my triceps. I'm not using my chest at all, and that's not how we want to press. We want to do a chest press. I always press a little downward because that takes my delts out of it. If you look here, my delt is actually a little bit spongy. My chest is activated, but my delt is not rock hard here. It's got a little softness to it because I'm using my chest. As soon as I come a little higher, all of a sudden my delt really fires, and it's all in my delts and my triceps. For those of you who literally don't know how to activate your chest, get a little bit of bend in your arms, bring them together, and press your palms together. Press your palms in. When you push in, you're gonna feel your pecs engage. If you're too high, you're gonna feel a lot more in the delts. So, put them right below your chest, come out a little bit, squeeze. Once you get that feeling, try to get the same feeling with your hands apart. Squeeze your chest in. Learn how to feel it, Try to do the same thing. Now with a bar, same concept. Bend your arms a little bit. Try to get it to where with no bar, if you squeeze inward, you flex your pecs. And you'll feel, when you do that, you should probably feel a little bit of lat engagement as well. And that's good. Because when you start to bench, you're gonna engage your lats and push and squeeze out. Now, we talked about the elbow position, and if your elbows are starting way far out front like this, you're probably doing a tricep press. Even if you get your elbows back, if they're just down here like this, it looks like I'm in a better spot, but I have a very acute angle here, and I can tell from this posture, I don't actually have my lats engaged or my shoulder girdle kind of back. If I press from here, it's gonna end up, no matter where I press, up or down or out, it's gonna end up being a lot of tris and shoulders. One difference is if I'm actually gonna get set to do one, I would actually look more like this. So it looks like I have a very acute angle in my elbow, but if I tilt, you see I'm not much more than 90, but I'm engaged. My lats are engaged. So from the front, if I get set, it's actually the same thing as doing a front lat spread, where if I'm like this, my lats are engaged and I'm getting set. From the back, my lats are actually flexed and my elbows are up and I'm tight. I'm in. I'm not gonna keep my elbows down here, right? They're not down by my side. They're not gonna be out front, and even if they're down here, the band's up high. I'm not engaged right now. This is no good. I'm gonna breathe in, get my chest big, get ready, everything engaged, my elbows are up, and I'm gonna press. Ow. Elbows are up. Go. Now, I'll show you from the front. I'm not set. I'm gonna get my air in, puff my chest up, get my lats engaged, press. one from the back. I'm not set. I'm engaged. Press. So, combining all those things, learn how to use the bar to squeeze. Once you get that, keep your arms and your lats engaged and squeeze, and then put the band on and replicate it.
Has his elbows slightly flared outward to make sure that the pectoral engages. So the humerus bone moves across the body, and that's when the pectoral shortens, also stimulating the deltoids and the triceps. So notice how this is the top of the movement. So not straight, but about right here ends up being the top of the movement as he continues to go through the exercise. So he's also not letting the band go slack at the bottom. So he has complete engagement of the musculature through the entire experience. Brings everyone who does this to a very profound level of fatigue. Now, as he's having difficulty getting to the full range of motion, he's going to start shortening the repetitions towards himself. So he gets he gets a shorter distance from the body as he goes to fatigue, and this is complete fatigue of muscle. So first fatiguing the strong range, then the mid-range, and then the weaker range. Perfect, keep going. Great, perfect. Complete fatigue. The bottom of a chest press, this is, by the way, this is why Smith machine chest press is really frowned upon by like strength coaches. They don't ever want you to do it because the chest press actually has an arc to it. The top, the bar is in line with the clavicle, but the bottom, it's almost like at the where the pectoral attaches at the bottom of the sternum. So you see I'm kind of swinging upward. Decline is superior than flat bench for both muscle activation and for output. Really just means the pectorals are a little more efficient when you're pushing a little bit downward. So instead of actually pushing downward, is a lot of people kind of arch their back, and Mikhail does a perfect job of doing this, but there's a reason why you biomechanically want to do this, because it gets you a slight decline effect when you move your abdomen a little bit forward and you're almost pushing down, yet you're still flat with the ground. And so a slight, and when you see people bench pressing, sometimes they push off the ground and they lift their pelvis up. That's why. So they can get that slight benefit and that efficiency of the pectorals, gives the pectorals a better training experience. Don't try and over exaggerate that. Just let your own reflexes guide you.
You shouldn't be doing this. Your shoulders shouldn't be moving up. Your shoulders have to be back and tight. Press back like if you're holding a quarter and down. Don't move from here out. You don't want to move your shoulders forward. You want to come out right here. And then when you're here, break the bar at all times. But look, if you're breaking the bar, look how the chest lifts up automatically. You don't want to offload the tension here. It'll make it, that's why you see most people do once they do a fast rep forward, you're not really holding more tension on the muscle, you're holding more tension in your skeletal system. If you're allowing your shoulders to come all the way forward, you're basically offloading the tension in the pecs right back here. So when you see fast reps and then all of a sudden you go like this, you're offloading every time, making it easier. You get more reps with higher tension, but those reps and higher tension are not really doing what you want them to do. Some people say, well, I've used it for a long time and I always just get tricep activation and I don't feel like my chest is working out. You got to make sure, first of all, that you're not going to lock out. Remember, your tricep in and of itself is not going to be as strong as your chest. What's happening is most of you are, once you get to the far range, rather than squeezing and pumping your chest, you're pushing that last bit with your tricep, with your arm, rather than squeezing the chest. And remember, you want to stay away from lockout anyways. Stop trying to get out here. Stop trying to get out here. You want to stay around right here and do this to your chest. Pump your chest and squeeze the chest inward rather than push out. The bar should never be here. This is what would happen if you were benching in a real bench. And notice where my elbows are at. My elbows are behind my body. So if you start here, which is what you would do in a real bench, you bring the bar up to your chest basically. This causes real issues with your elbows and with your shoulders. That's why most people get shoulder problems from benching. So don't try to shorten the band so much that the chest is starting with a lot of tension here. A good way to test how far off your chest you should have, just grab the bar, lie down, and see where your elbows touch the floor. The space that the bar has there, that's ideally where you want it. That's why when people do dumbbells or barbell off the floor, it's safer because it doesn't let your elbows go behind your body and it's safer on your shoulders.
So we often get the question, how does one get in the right position for a chest press? I'm gonna make it look easy. You're gonna need to practice this a little bit. Hook it on the bar. So you wanna start by grabbing not the bar, but the band. So everybody see that, this is a triangle. Now I'm gonna grab it with, I do it with my right arm. I'm gonna put it over my head and I'm gonna get it cross body. So I got as much slack here as here. So cross body, we all got that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this side, the upper side, and drop it down so that the band is in between the deltoid and the tricep. So it's in this position, it's in the correct position on the left side of my body, your right. Now I'm gonna drop the other arm through and I'm ready to do it. It's just sitting right in position. So all I have to do now is grab a hold of the bar and push away from myself.